Okay, folks, let's take a look how you can save HTML page source code for failed tests in Playwright. It can be useful in some situation to help you to troubleshoot your tests, to debug them. For example, if you have a test that runs 10 minutes, it fails, and you cannot clearly understand what's wrong with the locator or something from the screenshot from the Playwright report. In such situations, it's very useful to have HTML page source to see what changed. So usually I implement this feature. It helps me a lot for troubleshooting. So let's see how to edit. This is an example of failed test. For example, I will open some page and assert page title. Then, so I created utils folder. If you don't have it, you can create it manually inside your project. And I created a couple more .js files, file utils, with a couple of imports from Node.js. It's fs, file system, and path. Basically, I have two functions over here. First one will save in page source. So basically, it will save in any string that will pass in along with the file name. So it will check if logs folder exists. I will put it inside logs and create it if it doesn't exist. The same goes for page source folder. And then I will be just saving this string into this file. Cleanup folder, the second function is just to remove all the logs from all previous runs, because you don't if you will run it over time, daily, monthly, eventually you will have a lot of files, so you should clean them up at some point. For string utils, I have one function that basically returns just date and time in string. It's additional part that I want to put in the file name to see what was the test name and when it was run, when it failed, to be able not to overwrite the same test failure page source again and again if you will run the same test again and again. So these are a couple of main functions. Now let's go to the main part. So yeah, you don't basically not need to add anything in your tests, but you will need to add test after each method in your test set and test suite. So with this, in the standard Playwright mechanism provide those. So what I'm doing here, I'm checking if test status, so it will run after each test, and it will check if if a test is failed, then it will take HTML content of the page at the moment of failure, basically on the last step before closing the browser. So we can do that by using Playwright page.content async function. Then I'm just generating file name, some prefix, test name that goes from here. For example, in my case it will be file test example. I'm replacing all spaces with underscores, and I'm adding this part for get and date and time, and .html, just console log info message, and calling my save page to source function from file utils, this one that I've already shown. Now I also added this cleanup folder call as a test. I didn't put it in before each or before all methods. Before each, I don't need to do it before. I don't want to do this to call the cleanup before each test, because I want to see all the failures for the whole test set. And I don't want to do it in before all method, because for all runs not only once when you're running tests in parallel. It will run few times, once per each worker, Playwright worker. So I want to store or preserve all the logs until the next test set run. And by saying test set, I mean all the tests inside this spec file. So whenever I will be running the whole test set, I will only clean up once at that moment in time. So again, this part will be running after each and every test. We'll check if it's failed, save the content, take the content and save it to automatically generated file. This one just additional part to clean it up. Not to store all the page sources indefinitely. And guess that's it. Let me check page object. Yeah, I have only 3 file changes in here. So let's run and see how it works. So initially I don't have any logs folder, as you might see. Now I will run a test. It will fail. Just waiting for page to be loaded fully. And now it is unexpected page title, expected Google, received Best Buy. And now you see here logs folder has been created, page sources folder has been created inside logs folder. And here is the page source of this exact run of this exact test. It says page source underscore file test example, the name of the test, and then it added date and time. So if you go inside this file, open it, you will see this is HTML page source. You can also open it from your Finder, from your file system. It will look something like that. So it looks, let's say, ugly, because it doesn't have all the CSS styling applied. It contains only a page source. That's why it looks like that. But it should be enough to give you understanding what's wrong with your locator or something. And all the code examples will be available in this repo. I will put the link in the description. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one.